Hi everyone, welcome. This is Fredo, and you're watching the 20th episode of Santa Filomena. That I wanted to start by showing you that there's been a problem in the record, not the record, the saved games, as just as you just saw the previous game just wasn't saved. Actually, it's the first time this happened to me. I've had like very minor issues in the past, like forgetting to press record for 10 minutes of gameplay or something like that, but just minor stuff. And it's really the first time that a whole episode is not getting recorded, and I really didn't get what happened because um, I have to say that most of the time I just let it do it automatically because it works. I never had, as I just said, never had a real problem with this, but now I should think about constantly checking if the episode is properly saved by the end of the session. So in this episode, I'm basically not redoing or replicating exactly what was lost in the previous saved game, in the previous non-saved game in, in this matter, and I just didn't want to relieve the exact same things, so I moved on to other projects and other parts of the city to change some stuff and make them better and improve them. And there's this a mode that I've been telling you about in previous episodes about realistic population that's really making the population take off in this episode. I think we're gonna get throughout this episode, if I remember well over 20,000 people, because it starts at 60,000, and I think by the end of it was almost 90,000. And because this mode is changing the whole population distribution and obviously increasing the population in the whole city, some buildings and a whole district like Palisandra you're seeing right now needed to be totally remade and totally transformed, because big commercial areas or big offices areas that there used to be are now becoming residential areas, because there's there used to be, without the realistic population mode, way too many commercial and offices zones and not enough population, just simply put. So Palisandra is now becoming a residential only district. Well, with the few shops that you can see at the top left part of the screen right now, but obviously I wasn't gonna erase all of them, because when you build a very big residential place, a residential district, you don't want your inhabitants to be having to travel for quite some distances to be shopping to be buying, to be doing the shopping and buying basic stuff for their lives. So that's why I always leave a few commercial streets here and there, a few shopping streets here and there. In this episode, I've also tried to install some new unique buildings, but as you see there, there's still quite a few requirements that these buildings have in order to be placed that are not quite matched yet, and that I need to work on. Obviously, quite a few of them have For example, some public transports, figures requirements to be matched, and we're getting very close to some of them. So maybe in the next couple of episodes, we'll be able to place these new buildings. I've also, as you can see, me like trying to find a correct place for this Indian arch. Um, got some new stuff from the workshop, and this Indian arch was one of them. I just got a few things, not that many. The thing is, because I'm so busy, as you can see on my channel these days, with Eurovision stuff. I'm sorry for those who are very closely watching this Santa Filomena series, but it's this second part is a bit less regular in episode releases, and I'm trying my best to get them out as regularly as possible. But Eurovision keeps me very busy at the moment because we are in the heart of the season, and so I can't really plan and execute and make these episodes as regularly as I used to in the first part. I'm trying not to let it fall apart either in terms of schedule, and um, trying as hard as possible to make it fit into some sort of um, fairly reduced a period of time, just like I did for the first part. I think I spent a month. It barely was. Was it a month? I think it was a month or a couple of months that I took. Yeah, it was a couple of months that I took to make the first 16 episodes, and I will try to stick to that for the second part before taking another break. So by not trying to replicate what was lost in the previous non-saved game, I'm now focusing on some small details like this park area, this green area in the city center. I've also tried in this episode to replace a few roads, place a few garbage treatment center because this was on high demand, and it kind of annoyed me a bit to be needing to place these right in the middle of the mountains in the valleys, because I want these places to be some nice and pretty places for people to be enjoying some quiet time when they go to the country, let's say that. But after 20 episodes, because they're still not being used for that, I thought I might as well make them functional and place what's really becoming a necessity for the city at the moment. And then we'll see later if we get rid of them or place them someplace, some district else or someplace else. So right now that's the place where I decided to put these new garbage treatment centers, and then we'll see later what I do with them, if I want to leave them here or move them around. I've finally worked on some more cable cars in this episode. You will see that more by the end of it. But this time on the other side of the place where I started building them. It's not going to be across small islands this time, it's going to be across a mountain. I think it's the highest height of the whole archipelago. I think, I'm not sure, I would need to check that take some time to actually see if it's possible for me to determine which is the highest point in the whole place. But yeah, in one of the highest places, I thought it would be great to connect this to a point which is very close to the sea, so that you can go like very up and very down, in which appears to me like a very fun kind of public transportation. And I'm really hoping that it's gonna be like a very touristic thing to do for people in the city. After Alexandra, I also had to change the former Sycamore Industry District, because there were as well in this place way too many offices and shops that needed to be gotten rid of, because the population demand was still the residential demand was still quite high at that point, and so I had to rebuild some roads as well. But hopefully not. I didn't have to get my head in by reworking the monorail lines, because apparently when you get some of these um, destroyed or unbuilt, then when you just replace the station, it's usually fine, and the logo goes away. So as you just saw, the icon for a misconnection or disconnection just went away. I wanted to rebuild this interchange as well, because it was really looking ugly, and I was thinking of replacing by a big intersection, but when you think about it, it's a very big one already. When you get closer to the very big residential area that is the Violin, and so two of them very close to one another wouldn't have helped, I think. So I tried my best to rebuild this motorway connecting to a single street, two-way street, as nicely as possible. I just didn't like the aesthetic, the aesthetics of it, and I tried to just improve the way they looked. But I think there's some more work that needs to be done on that later. If I really want to make it look as pretty as possible, I can do much better than that. I think I'll let you now enjoy the rest of the episode. Thank you very much for being faithful to this series. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you saw. You're always very welcome to make some suggestions about things you would like me to see build, some district names, some tips that might seem very obvious, that you know very well and that I don't seem to know at all, that I could be using in my city, that could be very useful to me. And I'll thank you very much for all of this, and I'll see you very soon for some new adventures in Santa Filomena. Bye bye.